It was just another evening, or at least it was meant to be. My wife, Anna, had whipped up a batch of her signature pasta, the kind with the sauce that clings to every noodle just right. Our daughter, Kanika, perched across the table, her fork twirling spaghetti into a chaotic pile as usual, leaving a trail of sauce on the tablecloth. I was just thrilled to be home early for once, soaking in the rare calm of a family dinner. We chatted about the usual stuff, my day at work, Kanika's latest school project on ecosystems, which she was oddly excited about. But then, the conversation took a sharp turn, like a car swerving off a quiet road. I mentioned, offhand, while reaching for my water glass, that my college buddy Morgan had called earlier. Said he might swing by this weekend, I added, thinking nothing of it. Kanika's face lit up like a Christmas tree. Uncle Morgan? He's so hilarious, and he always brings those awesome chocolate chip cookies, she squealed, nearly knocking over her milk. Anna flashed a tight little smile, the kind that hides something sharp beneath it. Oh, Morgan is just wonderful with kids, isn't he? She said, her voice dripping with something I couldn't quite place, yet. Then Kanika, in that blunt way kids have, dropped a bombshell. Dad, your friend's, like, super good looking. And he's got all that money, right? How come he's not married? She asked, her eyes wide with innocent curiosity. I chuckled. Kids say the wildest things, don't they? But before I could answer, Anna jumped in, way too fast, her smirk practically screaming trouble. Yeah, seriously, why isn't he married? I've been wondering that myself for, forever, she said, leaning back in her chair with a look that said she was enjoying this a little too much. I shrugged, trying to keep things light. He just hasn't found the right person, I guess. Picky guy. But Anna wasn't done. She let out a laugh, sharp and bitter like overbrewed coffee. Picky? Please. If I hadn't settled for you, I'd probably be living the dream with Morgan by now, she said, her voice all syrupy sarcasm, like she was half joking but not really. The words hit like a sucker punch. My fork clattered onto my plate, the sound echoing in the sudden silence. What did you just say? I asked, my eyes locked on hers, searching for a hint she was kidding. She blinked, playing innocent, but that smirk didn't budge. Oh, relax, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying, Morgan is the whole package, successful, charming, easy on the eyes. Any woman would be tripping over herself to snag him. That's all. Her tone was light, but her words were heavy, like she'd been mulling this over for way too long. That's all. I repeated, my voice low, each syllable deliberate. You just sat here at our family dinner, in front of our kid, and said you'd rather be married to my best friend if I wasn't in the way? My heart was pounding now, a mix of shock and betrayal bubbling up. Anna rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. Oh, come on, you're blowing this way out of proportion. It was a joke, Mr. Sensitive, she snapped, tossing her napkin on the table like she was done with the conversation. A joke? I said, my jaw tightening so much it ached. Or is this something you've been daydreaming about a little too often, huh? Her face shifted, that smug look replaced by something defensive, like a cat backed into a corner. Don't you dare twist my words, she hissed, leaning forward. I was just being real. Morgan has it all, money, looks, charm. Any woman with a pulse would notice. You telling me you don't see it? I leaned in too, my voice rising despite myself. And what does that make me? The guy you settled for while you're out here fantasizing about someone else's life. My hands were shaking now, the sting of her words cutting deeper than I wanted to admit. You're being ridiculous, she shot back, her voice sharp enough to slice through the tension. I married you, didn't I? I'm still here, so quit acting like I've done something wrong. People have thoughts, okay? Doesn't mean I'm running off with him. I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. No, what you said was enough. More than enough. My voice was ice cold now, the kind of calm that comes right before a storm. Anna stood too, crossing her arms, her eyes narrowing like she was daring me to keep going. What, you're gonna make a big deal out of this? Real mature, she scoffed, tossing her hair. What are you doing, huh? You gonna kick me out over one little comment? Yeah, I said, my voice steady despite the chaos in my chest. Pack your stuff. You're not sleeping here tonight. Her jaw dropped, but she recovered fast, letting out a laugh that was all venom. You're kicking me out? Over this? Wow, you're really showing your true colors now, aren't you? Guess the truth hurts, huh? You can't handle that I might have had a fleeting thought about someone like Morgan. That wasn't a fleeting thought, I said, staring her down. That was the truth slipping out, and I'm not gonna live with someone who's lying next to me every night while dreaming of my best friend. Her face froze, like she hadn't expected me to call her bluff. You're serious, she said, her voice quieter now, almost disbelieving. I'll file for divorce first thing tomorrow, I said, my words heavy but final. Go chase your dream guy. Let's see if he's as perfect as you think. Kanika, who'd been silent this whole time, looked up, her eyes wide and confused. Dad, she said, her voice small. My heart cracked, but I forced a gentle tone. Sweetie, go to your room, okay? This is grown-up stuff. Anna didn't move, just stood there, arms still crossed, like she was waiting for me to back down. You're making a huge mistake, she said, her voice low and sharp. No, I said, meeting her gaze head-on. The mistake was thinking I was enough for you. She packed her bags that night, her movements sharp and angry, like she was daring me to stop her. Every few minutes, she'd glance over, expecting me to say I was bluffing, to beg her to stay. But I didn't. I stood there, silent, watching her walk out the door, her suitcase wheels squeaking against the hardwood. The next day, I filed the papers, my hands steady but my chest hollow. Morgan called a few days later, his voice hesitant, saying he had no idea what was going on and swore he had nothing to do with it. I don't care, I told him, my tone flat. I'm not asking you to pick sides. I just don't want either of you in my life anymore. He tried to argue, but I hung up, done with the whole mess. A month later, Anna showed up at the house, her eyes red, her voice softer than I'd ever heard it. She said she missed the life we'd built, missed Kanika, missed me. She admitted Morgan wasn't the perfect guy she'd built up in her head, just a fantasy that crumbled when she tried to make it real. I got carried away, she said, her voice breaking. I thought there was something better out there, but I was wrong. But by then, I'd learned something she never did. Fantasies always feel better than reality, until you're forced to face the consequences. She got what she wanted, a taste of her so-called dream life. And me? I finally got what I deserved, peace, quiet, and a chance to rebuild without her shadow hanging over me.